What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming here for the third episode of my career mode here today at the Bahrain Grand Prix for the Bahrain International Circuit. Unfortunately, for the first couple of minutes of this video, there is no game audio. Not sure what happened. It messed up during practice and qualifying, so we don't have any of that, but we do have audio for the race, thankfully. For the weekend, we had some developments come in with the weight reduction and reliability general maintenance, but the engine upgrade and the aerodynamic downforce front wing upgrade have both failed, which is disappointing especially for the engine one. Really need the power around this track, so that's not the best of news for us heading into the weekend. But we do get a weight reduction upgrade, which should help the car. As you can see, durability and chassis is all good, but aerodynamics and engine not so good. So that's unfortunate for us for this weekend. Moving on now to practice for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it was really up and down for me. I was really struggling around this track just to get the car right. The back end was sliding a lot, and then you can see here, getting on the curb, losing it and hitting the wall, struggling to find the limits of the track. After all the practice was complete, we do manage to upgrade the engine and redevelop the aero, the parts that failed, so we can have them on the car for China, which should help both for that long back straight at China, and the aerodynamics should help in that middle sector really nicely. So moving on to qualifying now, and just as much as I was struggling in practice, I was really struggling to nail the lap, a good one in qualifying, as you see here, getting onto the curb and ruining my lap, unfortunately. So we didn't really have the pace, and I think I was just trying to push the car beyond its limits here and just really overdrive it. As you can see, Albon's 18th, Kubica's 19th, and I'm last after my mistake on the first lap. So we're last run of Q1 here, coming through the fast right-hander, got on the curb, back end, stepping out, now really pushing it, trying to make up lost time on the power, way too early, out wide here, coming on to this back straight now, and really got to nail the last corner because we've already lost a bunch of time, but up on out delta from that first lap. Do get a decent final corner, back end steps out as we come across the line, and we only manage P19 for the second race in a row. It is the back row of the grid here today at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Really disappointing result. Albon qualifies 17th. Raikkonen as well knocked out in Q1 for the second straight race in 16th, with George Russell 18th and Kubica 20th. So Russell's done a great job to beat me today. I've really underperformed in my car. A 31-1, really disappointing time. But now let's move on to the race.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Perez, Stroll and Kevin Magnussen. Ricciardo, Norris, Lewis Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty, and Butler, Weber, Raikkonen, Alexander Albon and the captain, Kubica and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So, welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix, the second race of our career. We have an interesting grid.
We're not starting where we wanted. We'll need to fight our way up the grid today.
Thanks, Jeff. We have an interesting grid today with Lewis Hamilton starting from 13th, so that should spice things up for the race. He's taking a grid penalty. We move up to 18th thanks to George Russell also taking a grid penalty. It's going to be a one-stop, mediums to hard, quite simple really. Put a bit of fuel in it and let's get this thing rolling. So, here we go, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Not a bad start by us, but not a great one. The Williams have made a much better start. Albon and the rest of the pack pulling away. George Russell goes down to my inside. I brake late. Russell's even later. Look at the dive bomb from George Russell up the inside of the Haas there. We're side by side with our rival Devon Butler and Lewis Hamilton, and we managed to sneak ahead of Weber there, in behind Hamilton. Then we're going to try around the outside of Lewis Hamilton. Can we overtake the Mercedes? We're a bit wide here. And Hamilton squeezes us out. And now Raikkonen has come from nowhere. And same as Weber. So Raikkonen's through. Ran a bit too wide at turn 4. And now we slot in behind Kimi Raikkonen for 17th place. We'll have a look into turn 8. But nothing going down there. Not alongside. Really need to be alongside the AI, or else they will just turn in on you. I've learnt that over the first few races. Really got to get alongside them to make the move work, just like a player. So yeah, that's good to see. As Hamilton now trying to make his way past Devon Butler. Really not a great opening lap for Lewis Hamilton. He would have been hoping to make up places, not lose places. So needs to get past these cars really quickly. And he's still behind Butler. He's past Norris, so unfortunate for the 5-time world champion, as he's now down the inside. We can see right down the white line of Butler, and he makes it. No, he's still side by side with Devon Butler, and Butler gets a better exit as Leclerc leads the opening lap of this Grand Prix. So Raikkonen now going for it on Lando Norris. He's down the inside. Kimi Raikkonen, the world champion, down the inside. Hamilton sneaks past Butler. Raikkonen up on the curb, and we have to take avoiding action there as to make sure we don't lose our front wing. Now we're under pressure from Weber coming into turn 4, but Weber's not quite close enough as Norris defending the inside line on Kimi Raikkonen once again, and Raikkonen is through. So Raikkonen up a place to P15. Norris back to 16th. We sit in 17th. Hamilton up in 13th place where he started. So still no progress for Lewis Hamilton in this Grand Prix. As we lock up on the front left tyre, such a tricky braking point that is turn 10. Really difficult to get it right. Moving on to the next lap, and we've lost a bit of ground to Norris now. Starting to struggle with the pace of the car. Really not understanding how to drive this track quickly. As now Weber's up the inside, he got a much better exit than us. I was really struggling for exit speed out of turn 10, and Weber is now past us, and he's through into P17. We're down to 18th, and we're now going to come under pressure from Albon and Kubica. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of slipstream though, so maybe we'll have something to say about that. We're going to go down the inside. We're not going to give up on Lucas Weber just yet, and well, no, we don't. We get out-braked by Weber, but we're going to have another opportunity on the big straight here. So, no DRS just yet, but slipstream. Actually, Albon has DRS. Neither Weber or I got DRS. Albon almost having to push us into turn 1, but we're down the inside again, and we're through on Lucas Weber once again. He's going to have to do that hard work again, and now he will have DRS here for the run to turn 4. We defend to the middle of the track and hold station just for now. And now the George Russell is starting to fall back as well, as you can see on the map. He's the car ahead of Norris, as Weber once again looking to get past us into turn 10. Nothing doing here, and we managed to hold on to that position for now, coming through the fast right-hander. We're very wide understeer onto the curb, but once again wide for the right-hander. Not looking good. We're now coming down this back straight. Weber not close enough, thankfully, but he will have a go in the DRS zone here as we now move on to the start of lap 5 of this Bahrain Grand Prix. So here comes Weber with DRS. We defend to the inside, but unfortunately he's just better than us on the brakes, and that's a job done for Lucas Weber into turn 1. And now we get a horrible exit, and now Albon's going to be on us. We do have DRS to defend, thankfully, and we managed to stay ahead of Alexander Albon into turn 4. So disastrous really for us in our Grand Prix now, because we're just dropping back. And we now on to lap 7 here, and we get still in the DRS of Lucas Weber, which was really positive. I started to understand the car a bit more, and was really starting to pick my pace up ever so slightly. And we weren't dropping. He wasn't dropping us, but we got onto the curb here, and you can't do that at that corner because you just lose the car, and we go off track, and Albon manages to slip through. But can we fight back now? Because we're right in his slipstream, and we're going to go to the outside this time, as the AI really cover the inside line. So look to the outside, and now once again slipstream, and we're going to move to the inside this time. Nothing Albon can do about it. We have the power of DRS on our sides, and here comes Kubica. He has the slipstream off me, and now he's going to have a look into turn 1 on me. Robert Kubica, could it be a double overtake for the Williams driver? The most exciting part of the season possibly, but for Kubica, but he doesn't quite make it stick, and Albon is ahead of Kubica again, so not brave enough on the brakes in that Williams car. That just lacks that downforce, as Albon has a look into turn 4, but we shut that off quite nicely. And now we are on lap 8 of this Bahrain Grand Prix. Leclerc still leads in this race with Vettel second. The Ferraris dominated in Melbourne, a 1-3 there, and they're on for a possible 1-2, as now Kevin Magnussen, I believe, is out of this Grand Prix with a mechanical issue. It's unfortunate for K-Mag in the Rich Energy Haas team. They were probably on for some good points today, knowing that Ferraris are working well around this track, but unfortunately is a retirement for Kevin Magnussen. The Dane will not be happy. As we now move on to lap 13, and you can see Hamilton's behind us. And he's gone around the outside, and he's gone off the track, and I've gone off the track. He's put me off there, and Albon slips through. And I was about to say, we've actually caught up to Lando Norris a bit. We're closing in on the pack ahead. Hamilton has already come in for his first pit stop. He's put on the mediums. He looks like he's on the one stop today. If that, he can stretch those to the end of the race. If not, he's going to have to put on another set of tyres. But now we are in P13, and we've lost the spot to our teammate because Hamilton tried to pass at a place of the track where it's just not the best really for passing opportunity. I don't know why he didn't wait for the DRS straight. And now he's through on my teammate Albon into the last corner. But we are coming in this lap to put on the set of hard tyres, so we're looking for the undercut here. Kubica came in on the last lap, which wasn't ideal, and now he's got the undercut on us, and plus that incident with Hamilton in the middle sector could cost us the place to Robert Kubica. The team's going to have to do a really quick pit stop here, as Norris is in, Weber's in, we're in, Russell also in, as you can see. It's a great pit stop by the team. I felt really much closer to the guys ahead than what we were when they when we entered the pit lane. So it's a great job by the team to turn it around. I've pressed the wrong button here. Instead of pressing the pit lane speed limit, I've pressed the replay. We'll get going just now. And here we go, and there is Robert Kubica. The undercut has worked. Raikkonen's back because he has some sort of a mechanical issue. That's why he's so far behind everybody else. That happened at some stage when he pitted. And now next lap comes around, and we have not made the undercut ourselves work because Albon's come out ahead of us, and he's actually really close to Kubica and Weber. So I don't know Albon, he must have had a storming in lap to put in that kind of lap time to come out there. I was really confused how he got to there. I thought he would have been behind me, but guess not. He is ahead as we are now halfway through this Grand Prix, and we are sitting 18th, and we've got a lot of work to do if we want a chance to score any kind of points. I don't think points is possible today, unfortunately. We just don't have the pace in the car to score points.
7.8 seconds.
So this has got quite a trade now. Weber's got behind him, Kubica is behind Albon and myself. Raikkonen is behind all of us, but he's not got the pace. Unfortunately, got some kind of mechanical issue. That means he cannot compete strongly in this Grand Prix. And it's about to all go downhill coming onto the straight, as Kubica is going to have a great run with the Mercedes powered engine. He does not lack straight line speed, he just lacks a lot of cornering, as you can see. Starting to drop back is Robert from Weber, starting to suffer with that dirty air, and the Williams really is a bit too fast on this year's game. I mean, they should be about a second off everybody's pace, but I mean, it probably is good for the career mode. They can compete, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, here goes Albon now. He's got a great run on Kubica. Kubica defends the inside. They're all in bloody defending the inside line here, trying to make it move through. And we get a great exit out of turn 1. And now we've got an opportunity to overtake Albon. We pull alongside. We're late on the brakes, and that is P17. So not much to write home about. But the first job is to beat your teammate. Now, we shouldn't be behind this Williams. We need to make something of it. He's starting to fall back from Lucas Weber. Is Robert Kubica. We have the DRS here. And closing speed is absolutely unbelievable. I thought we were going to be too far back, but we're down the inside. But we're deep into the corner, unfortunately, and we lose it back end, and Kubica chops us off quite dangerously there. But we had the job done. We lost it all on the brakes. We didn't need to brake that late. We had the job done. Just the absolute speed we carried into turn 1 was too much, I think. We just missed the braking. Didn't miss the braking point, just had more speed than thought. But next time round, we're a bit closer this time. Open the DRS, and we are once again closing. Kubica going to defend the inside line. Doesn't matter, he leaves a space for us. We take it. We move back to the racing line. Kubica has a look down the inside. We leave him a bit of space if he wants to put his front wing there. But he doesn't, so we take P16 off Kubica's hands. And now we got about 3 seconds to catch Weber, who's caught the back of Russell and Norris. So Russell as well struggling for that raw pace that the Williams just lacks. He's done a great job though, has George Russell, to still be ahead of Lando Norris and be in P13 for this race. Now, Weber's got past the both of them here on lap 26. As you saw, Lewis Hamilton just pumped in the fastest lap of the race for that extra point today. So that's not a bad recovery for Hamilton. I believe he's running in 6th place after being 13th on lap 2. So, and wherever he was when he passed Bingham on about lap 13. So not a bad recovery for Lewis Hamilton, but not ideal for his championship desires, as once again he pumps in a 31.7, fastest lap of the race. He's definitely looking for that 1 point. Where, as you can see, we've gapped Kubica and Albon behind. We are closing the gap all the time to the guys ahead. Now this is the last lap of the race, and Norris is having a go on George Russell. Can he get done? He's not having a great afternoon or night, is Lando Norris. He's just stuck with cars. He's much quicker than, once again, Russell is able to get ahead. And look at the closing speed we have. Norris is having to defend. We're going to dive it deep on the brakes, and we make it stick. So that's disaster for Lando Norris. Absolutely beautiful for us. 15th place, not anything special, but it's just about pride now, and we're going to chase down Russell for this last gasp and trying to take home 14th place. We do not want to be beaten by the Williams. It would be not a great look for Toro Rosso, nor is it for McLaren. So we lock up into the final turn 10, and I thought once we had that rear end loss, I thought that was it, it's all over. But you remember, Russell is in the Williams. We might have a chance on the back straight if we get a good run through these corners, and we do get a good run through turn 11, sorry. Now through the fast sweeping right end of 13, we're absolutely flat out, and early turn in point, trying to make up as much time as possible. but we're just not quite close enough to unfortunately make that move. We have absolutely drained the battery on this last lap to try everything we possibly could, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately, today. As Sebastian Vettel has taken the Grand Prix victory, he has beaten his teammate Charles Leclerc to victory here in Bahrain, and it is P15 for us here today at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. What do you think it was, Hans, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So a 1-2 for Ferrari here in Bahrain. They had a 1-3 with Vettel and Leclerc in Australia, and now a 1-2 in Bahrain. They are really putting down their authority, unlike real life, in this career mode, and start to the season with Bottas finishing third. Really best of the rest for Valtteri Bottas. So Verstappen fourth, he beat his teammate Gasly. Hamilton got back to the 6th place with the fastest lap, gets the extra point for fastest lap. Perez 7th, great race for him, best of the rest in terms of not being in the top 3. Hulkenberg 8th, Grosjean 9th, and Lance Stroll picks up the final point in 10th place. So a good weekend for Racing Point, picking up good points. Ricciardo just outside the points in 11th, Devon Butler 12th, and we are 15th. Albon, our teammate, does beat Kubica. Raikkonen down in 19th, last of the runners, really struggling, and Magnussen the only retirement from this race. Vettel has an 18-point lead over his teammate in the championship. Ferrari have a 34-point lead over Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. Wish we could say that about real life. Now coming after the race, we are leading our team out in the rivalry by 2 points, which is good news for us. And picking up good resource points. Was actually, after about the first 6-7 laps, it was actually a good race from us with the race pace, especially in the second stint in the hard tyre. Really did have much better pace. Really starting to learn how to drive these cars on this year's game. Much better. And
great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up.
Not exactly happy, there's no points to take home, but it is all in all decent result for us. Hopefully it's a bit of momentum now to take forward to China to hopefully get some points on the board for this team. Hasn't been the best start to the season, but now getting a bit more comfortable. Hopefully we're able to settle in and take some points into the Chinese Grand Prix with some obvious engine upgrades coming. We have some good resource points that we won't use, but anyway, I'll see you guys for the next time in the Chinese Grand Prix. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave your feedback in the comment section below. See ya.